G'day guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Pierre and this is Simple Home Brew. Today I'm doing a all grain brew. It's an American ale, a red ale. The recipe's been created by the Abernethy brothers in Dandenong Way. Great blokes to give me the recipe. I did a taste test on the brew beforehand and I loved it, so I'm making another one. So stick around if you want to see more. Guys are making it hard. So the recipe I'm making today is an amber ale. It's an American style amber ale or red ale. It's the recipe itself has been given to me by the Abernethy brothers and I've just refined it a little bit so I can get the grains locally. So basically what it entails is pale ale malt 5 kilograms, Munich 1 kilogram, you got Victory malt at 25 grams. No, sorry, 250 grams. I've got crystal light malt at 250 grams, as well as caramel or crystal malt. That's 200 grams. I'm also going to dry hop and add hops in as I'm going. I've got Cascade hops by 2 packets. Now Cascade's obviously a nice tasting hop, love it. We also have Fuggles or Fugles, whoever you are, however you say it. And there's a fair bit of that happening as well. So, when I do the fermenting, I'm just going to ferment it with US West Coast yeast, which is the M44, which is just an ale yeast. And I'm going to ferment it at the required temperature that they say to ferment it at. So let's get started, shall we? What I need to do now is heat up my mash water to 67 degrees Celsius and then add my grains. Now, most of the time I need somebody to help me with this because I make a mess. And I know you're going to laugh at me, and it's fine. Just going to do it anyway. So we'll pop it on. I'll turn the temperature up on my grain farmer to 67 degrees Celsius. Actually, I might connect up and use this system to actually do that. So hang on. We shall Bluetooth it and add this in. I've just realised I hadn't done that yet. Wonderful. We're on. Add water, which I've done, 21.6, which I did I? Yes, and that's it. Now it's starting to heat up. Pop my lid on, and we shall wait for that to heat up. Once it heats up, I'll then put in my basket and get it all ready. So we just have to wait now. Just realised I'm still filming. Once it heats up, I'll come back to you guys and we'll start putting in or adding the grains.
It cools down overnight and then we put some yeast into it. Yeah, it's good for the yeast.
I've got to figure out how to find out what pH I need to be at. I guess a good rule of thumb is what, 5.5 do you think? Or 5.4 or 3 or something? Or I don't know. pH should be 7 before additions. Well, it is. Yeah, it's 7 point, what did I say? 7.4. Yeah, 7.4. So, okay, that's not too bad then. Or close to it, yeah, thanks. That's good to know, actually. I always thought the water was meant to be at 5 pH of 5. Once you're fully mashed in, give it about 10 to 15 minutes to circulate, and it should be between 5.6 to 5.2. Oh yeah, good to know. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So, that's what happened. Actually, my missus convinced me to do it. Would you believe it? She said, we've got some money coming. You save some money. How about you put your shed outside and you brew outside from now on? Because I can't stand the smell anymore. I need you out. Mike, thanks. I appreciate you saying that. I just noticed you said my wife is the same about the shed. Basically, once you have fully mashed in it's cool, although she just wanted you out of her way, which is true. And he said, Mike was saying my wife is the same. So I'll take Mike's advice and I'll do my mash and see what it's at then, and hopefully from there on it will be spot on. I won't have to worry about it. Do you agree very quickly? I bet you agreed very quickly. Yes, I did, Josh. Yes, I did. I agreed. I quickly looked at sheds and went, I would like one of those cedar sheds. They smell and look beautiful. I just think my brew's finished. All right, guys, my mash water is ready. I just realised I need to actually add the rest of the parts in so that it doesn't fall to the bottom and mix up with all the plugs and plug up all the holes. So I need to put my parts in, these little bits. So this is always a pain in the bottom. So we're about to hear me swear, I think. We shall find out, eh? It's just ridiculous how hard that is to get in there. I need something. I need a better piece of equipment or something to make this work, but it is enough to drive you crazy. But the weight of this will help it seal anyway, so it should be fine. So I'm going to crack open the bag. I'll just crack it from the bottom because it'll be much easier for me to pour. And I'll need my grandfather's stirring stick, which is dirty, so I'll go and clean it. I'll be back in a sec. Alrighty, so I've got this all nice and clean. So now I'll just put this stick here so I can actually use it when I need to. Crack the base open. This is a problem I get from doing all grain brews, is I've got only me to do it. So this is the easiest way I found to pour the grains out and then drop it in. I'm hoping you guys can see on this camera over here. I'll put a little bit in like that. And then I'll stir what I've got there to make sure it all gets wet, basically. There's plenty of mash water there, so it's going to work really well. That's good. It's actually no dough balls going on, so we'll keep going with it. Now I take a little bit of time just to stir it in before I start the mash process. Put that in the bin. Just to make sure there's no dough balls and no dry bits of grain in there. It always helps to make sure you do that. All grain. I haven't done an all grain for a long time, so this is really good. Really good to do. So you can start seeing it's getting moisture through it. I just take my time to stir the grains around and lift them out, just to make sure that I don't have any dry bits of grain in there. This will take a little bit of time to do. It's looking pretty good so far. Nothing there so far, it's really good. Scrape off the edges to make sure they all drop into the... Alrighty, I think we're alright there. Now all I have to do is set up my grain father so that I get a flow of just wort through my system, so it actually washes through the grains and filters as it goes. So as it's doing a mashing, the grains itself will filter out all the crap that you get in your beer or in your wort. So the first thing I do is put the filter on, which will probably be a pain in the butt as well. Because, you know, this idea is just a pain in the butt. It doesn't seem to work well. Now we'll push it down. This one's actually going on nicely compared to the other one. Until we see fluid coming out the top. Just like that. That's all we need to do. So now we'll push this little beauty down to the maximum depth and pop this little drain plug on so we don't get grains down the hole. It can happen, and there is a little thing that grandfather do. I haven't got it, but there's a little thing that grandfather have that actually stop it from going through, which I won't worry about. So that's that part, and all I need to do now is put my tap on, and I just realised that's something else I haven't washed yet, so I'll be back. Look out, Mr. Magoo, what you doing? Just talking to the dog. So I see there's still 7 of you watching. This is awesome. I really appreciate this. You obviously don't have to, but it's great you are. Now where did my thing go? Here. What I did learn is I was watching the Home Brew Network doing their brew, and I noticed that they just put the hose in like that. And I thought, what a brilliant idea. Instead of cutting the friggin' thing, you just leave it like that, and it works just fine. All right, grain is added. We are now going to pump the fluid through. So I'll show you what it looks like. So basically, it's just flowing nicely at the moment. Now we want to have it flow so that it doesn't overflow into the drain plug. So when you do that, it allows all the fluid to drip through the actual grains while it's mashing in, which filters all your brew out. So you can see it's filling up quickly. I don't know if you can see well, but it's filling up quickly, and it's going to overflow. So you want to bring the flow down so that it still flows nicely, but doesn't overfill it and overflow. So if you do it like that, I'll run it like that for a little bit. Still getting a bit of air going through. And then I'll slow it down. Okay. So I'll pump it out. I'll pump a lot of fluid through, and I'll slow the flow down as soon as it gets close to the top. All right, once it's finished mashing in, I'll get back to you guys. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's actually coming out red. This is what we're looking for. I think I might be doing the right thing here. I'll show you. If you can see it, I'll just lift this lid up. Bring this over. That look red to you? I know I'm far away, but does that look red? That is awesome. I'm really happy with that. I'm going to shut up now. Oh, the basket fell. Now I've got problems. Well guys, bit of a disappointment. These guys over here have been watching me do this brew live on my YouTube channel, and I've just gone to pull the basket out to drain off my grains and to do a sparge, and the basket fell through the bottom. So what the problem there is now is I have to basically pull it all out, get the grains out, and somehow sparge them. So I'm really disappointed. This is going to be a whole challenge on its own. And these guys have just seen it. They're probably laughing their heads off, or they're going, oh my God, I've had that problem before. I don't know. But here we go. It's going to take me some time to get back to sparging point. Well, I don't think there's a day that goes by that I don't have a mishap. Every time I do brewing, there's always something that I do that goes wrong. But alas, everything's all right. I've put all the grains back in. They're all ready to go. I'm just looking for a seal at the moment that I can't seem to find. And we'll progress to sparging. So I'll get you when I get there. I think that makes sense. So guys, I'm about to pull it out once more. This time I'm pretty sure I'll be fine. I'm trying to clear it out as much as I can. It's not possible. It'll take another 10 minutes, half an hour to clean out. So I'm just going to turn the pump off and try and pull it out without the bottom falling out on it again. It did clear out a little bit just in that short amount of time, which is really good. So I'll get this out of the way. Grab my pulley system and we'll try once more and see if it's a failure or not. Alrighty, let's go. Oh, how good is this pulley? I should have grabbed one years ago. Okay, I can disengage that. All right, finally getting the sparging done. Let's see if this works. You can see what I'm doing here. Somebody mentioned to me a while back that having my digiboil not high, I need to put my digiboil higher. It's not a big issue. I just heat it up, use my jug, and sparge with it. It's not a problem. Now I'm finally got to this stage. I'm really happy. Yeah, I'm not ecstatic, of course, because as you can see what happened. But them's the breaks. We just keep going. I'm hoping I still have my volume of water in there. I didn't lose much, and I didn't tip any water out, so I should have the same volume, really. Everybody stop chatting now, which is fair enough. There's a lot of the Americans out there. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy your day, your sleep. You'll be at the point where you'll be just about time to go to bed. Thanks for watching. So we're finished sparging. We're just letting it run dry, and then once it's finished drying, it'll boil up to 100 degrees Celsius. When it gets to 100 degrees Celsius, it'll start to foam. Because it's a thick brew, it's got a lot of proteins in it, and the proteins will foam up as the water boils, like milk. And once that happens, it could boil over and make an absolute mess. So you need to be there ready for it to boil over. So we'll get back to you guys once we're at that point. Keep my eye on it. Oh, you probably can see that, hopefully. This is starting to do a rolling boil. So I'm about to add, no, I'm not going to add my hops yet because I don't go until 45 minutes to end a boil. I'm just going to keep my eye on this just for a minute while it's bubbling away to let it, there you go, let it settle down as it goes. Sorry, the dog just took off. We'll just keep our eye on that for 5 minutes and see how it runs. It's a 70-minute boil time. This 70-minute boil time will be, 60 minutes of normal boil time and then 10 minutes boil out. What I have to do at 45 minutes before end of boil, I need to add 30 grams of fuggles or fugels, depending on who you are, and 35 grams of Cascade hops, just for bitterness and a bit of flavouring. It'll happen soon. Okay guys, it's hop addition time. I'm hopping in. Putting in fuggles, 35 grams, and Cascade, 30 grams. And this is at 45 minutes to end the boil. So throw that in. I was going to use a hot basket. We'll just keep an eye on it at the moment to make sure it doesn't boil over. Looking pretty good. I'll give it a quick stir. It's probably going to stir anyway because it's boiling. I was going to use a hop spider, but the hop spider really is useless. The one I've got anyway, I'll show you. This hop spider here, I'm keeping it because it's good for filtering stuff out, but it's terrible for putting hops through. Anyway. All right, that addition has happened. Now I need to wait for a 30-minute addition. So I'm adding 35 grams of fuggles at 30 minutes. So in it goes. I thought Cascade went in as well, but it's just fuggles. Sounds like it's going to be a great beer, and I know it is because I've had it before, but I've never done it precisely how it should be done. So this time I am. So we'll see soon. Just added my Warflock. The Warflock tablet will help me. Look at that, how much foam it created. So the Warflock tablet, what it does is it grabs the proteins in the grains and actually weighs it down. And as you do a whirlpool, spinning it in a whirlpool solution, a position or area way, I don't know, spin. The proteins, I'll stop that beeping, will be pulled to the bottom and to the center as you whirlpool it. That's how whirlpools work. Nearly there, nearly the end. Gonna transfer it into my thing. I need to now, I've got 3 minutes till I have to start cooling it down with my counterflow chiller, which is around here, which I probably should start doing. So I'll pop the lid on, and I'll get my chiller, which I've cleaned out, as you know. Just to be sure though, I will pump some of the water through it first. So the transfer is about to happen. You guys are going to see it, and I'm going to just speed it up because it's boring as hell. Okay, we have reached 25 litres, exactly what is required. It all worked out perfectly. It's because I'm using better equipment, I think, and I'm measuring better. So I'm really wrapped. We are at our capacity. I now have to pitch my yeast. I'm going to do 2 packets. Now 2 packets, because it's so sweet, it's the gravity reading came out to be 10.060, which is exactly what was predicted. So that's even better. I'm going to use 2 packets of yeast because the sugar level is fairly high, and it is recommended to do twice as much. I'm not going to rehydrate the yeast, which is sometimes recommended. Unfortunately, I have never done it. If you want to save yeast, apparently Y yeast is much better to use. I believe it would be. It'd have a lot more growth in it. But I'm using ale yeast. I'm using M44 US West Coast yeast, and I'm using 2 packets because it's such a sweet brew. I wanted to get started quickly. So the brew is at 24 degrees Celsius and it's ready to go. I'm about to pitch it. You can probably see me do it here. Now remember, some of this is foam. Oh no, I put it on the pipe, but that's all right. Some of this is foam. I could shake this around and stir it if I have to. So I used to spray everything more often, but I've been a bit slack lately and I haven't had an issue yet. One day I will. This is basically me being a dick. And I'm done. I've been here 7 hours trying to do this. So what I'll do is I'll actually lift this out. 25 kilos. I'll lift this out and turn it upside down so to make sure it doesn't leak, and I'll actually stir the yeast in like this. Is that something? And it helps to oxygenate the brew as well when it's heavy. It's not coming out as easy as I thought. I'm going to drop it. Probably shouldn't be doing this, but I need to shake it. Just want to shake it up a bit to aerate it. This is something I haven't done before. But it also stirs the yeast in nicely as well. So I'm hoping that will work. 25 kilos. At the moment my back's feeling great, so that's why I did it. Otherwise I would never have done that. And all I'm going to do now is sit it in a cool area, possibly in my house where the air conditioner is running, because I don't have a fermenter fridge at the moment because I'm using it for another brew. So on that, we're done. I'm going to store this in my house, just in a corner somewhere where it's nice and cool. It's going to be sitting at 20 degrees Celsius all the time. I wanted to do it 18, but 20 degrees Celsius is fine. It'll just brew away nicely. I'm going to pressurize it with some gas to make sure that the pressure is going to stay at 15 pounds or PSI. And then in a few weeks' time, I'll do a taste test and see what it came out like. But time makes it age better, so I'm going to leave it until then. So guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Don't forget, I am on Patreon. If you want us to support this channel, that'd be great. I'm trying to make money, and the guys on my live stream at the moment have reminded me that I could do t-shirt giveaways, but I can't afford it. I actually need money to do that. So if you guys are happy to support me with $5 or $1 or whatever you want to do, that'd be awesome. So come again, we'll be back for another brew. See you soon. Hello everyone, welcome. Just quickly an update. I'm doing a transfer and I just wanted to show you what I'm doing. I have my Firmzilla under pressure. It's got about 15 pounds of pressure in it, so I've got the flicker in there. And I've hooked up my gas line at 15 pounds going in and 15 pounds pressurizing the keg. And my keg is now filling up, hopefully not foamy. And I do know that it has a little bit of carbonation in it, so I'm really rapt to see how it's going to turn out.